Hey guys, today I'll be showing you 6 example solves that use essential techniques for FMC solving. Hope you guys enjoy. So for the first solve, I started on the inverse and did EO while building this square. So the bad edges are these two, these three, and then these three. So I started with U to bring this edge here. So these are all 4 threaded in R to build the square and build EO on this side. Then I attached this bad edge and then did an L prime to solve EO. Then I switched the normal scramble. Then I could see this edge being inserted like that to build a 2x2x2. But I noticed this pair also, and this edge matches with this pair. So I did the U to set up these two edges here. Did a B to build the square. Then built the 2x2x2. Then did an L2 to connect and made a 2x2x3. Then I switched again. After switching to the inverse, remember that you have to do the inverse before these 4 moves to continue from where you left off. But then I noticed that without doing those 4, if I did those 2 moves, you build a pseudo F12-1 block. So you don't have to necessarily stick with what you have. You can still change it up a bit to see if it gives you the better continuation. So I solve the 2x2x3 part. Then I fix the pseudo block with a U. Then I played around with this F2L case. So I inserted this one to the back. Then I noticed this case. It looks very similar to this OL case. This one. And so I did that. And I gave 3C. But I also noticed that this inserting the edge also counts with the alg. So it's just this. And that gave me a 3-corner skeleton. So for inserting, I use a technique called NISS. It's basically, let's say, you want to search this point where the 1 is, in between U and B. You would scramble on a solved cube these remaining moves, do the scramble, then do these moves before the 1 to see what case you have for your insertions. It's way easier to visualize than using stickers. Well, anyway, at that point, I saw you can do D2 and insert that. You can see this U prime B prime cancels with BU prime minus, so it's a 8 minus 3 to a solved cube. So I got a 20 move solve. For the second solve, I'll be emphasizing this. You should really use NISS so that you can do non-comm insertions, because not all insertions have to be commutators. So I'll be showing you. So first, I built the square like that, but I switched to inverse to build the EO because this case gives like a minimum 5 EO. So after switching to the inverse, I built the EO. These 3 are bad. Then this is the last remaining bad edge. So I did B2, R2, F. I did F instead of F prime because this matches this edge. So I can do an R prime to make a 2x2x2. Then this part, you really have to play around with the cube to find these good skeletons. So I did a D, B2 to solve this pair, because I was just building pairs randomly. Then I continued doing the B2 thing, and I noticed that it built this square also, while keeping this pair. Then 3 moves away is a skeleton to 3E, 3C by inserting this here, connecting that block, then like this. This is why you should use NISS. because at this spot I inserted an alg, not a commutator, that leaves 3c in 5 moves. I'll show you why. So I did f prime, and then the insertion is at this spot, but you'll never guess how to do that insertion unless you see it with everything solved. It's way easier to visualize, because after you do the f prime, you're left with a sexy f prime case. So I did it on this angle, and that left 3c. Then I inserted it here. It's a standard stuff, and yeah, that leaves you with 24 final. So this next technique is really underrated because it can give you some good stuff. Well, I got a 30. It's not that good, but whatever. You'll find a better solve for that, where you can use this technique. It's called off-center, where you build your skeleton, but then it leaves the centers unfinished. So something like that. That's one example. So anyway, I started building this 2x2x2 here. You can see it just centers off. See, but you can insert the center alg later. Then okay, let's just use this to make it easier to visualize. The bad edges here are these 3 and this one here. So remember that this used to be white, this used to be green. So to solve EO, I move this good edge out, replace it with the bad edge, and then did an F. After switching, I noticed that my 2x2x2, instead of being on the back right here, it's now on the down left. So you should take note of the rotation, from here to this position, because this will help you assemble your skeleton. If you don't take note of the rotation, then your skeleton won't work. So from this position, the inverse scramble position, it's an X and a Z away. Take note of this, but you don't have to put the X and Z while switching. Only put it when your skeleton is being assembled. So anyway, let's just make this easier to visualize. Oops, there. So this is your white still. Imagine this is your white. I just made it easier to visualize. So you can do U, B, U prime, B prime to build the pseudo block. Then I did F2, U, F, U prime to match this edge. And then you can see that matches here. Pseudo F12 minus 1. Now here I tried to fix the edges, so I inserted this, and you end up with a 3C. So you place the rotation I told you to take note of here. It used to be XZ, but I inversed it because, well, I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I reversed it because it works. So just experiment with that. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I split this F2 into F and F because that ensures me a 4 cancel with this B from F. So you should always place your center insertions in cases with UD, RL, and FB, so that the parallel moves, so that it ensures at least a 3 cancel. Anyway, this is the insertion I used. And you can see that I end up with blue-red, but you always want white-green to be your position. So take note of the rotation as well. So it's XZ. And then I inserted the 3-corner column, and I got a 30. So that's it for this video. Make sure to stick around for part 2, because I will be discussing about DR tricks. I still hope you learned something, because these first 3 solves are most important, especially for the beginners, like NISS, block building insertions, EO, those kinds of stuff, and RNISS. So yeah, let me know what questions you have for me. Leave them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for watching.